Campbell. Yes, sir? Have a look at those tiger cages and see that they're properly reinforced.
Okay, Mr. Hardy.
Hello, Mr. Hardy.
Why, hello, Dorothy. Here, Ollie, you take these kittens. Put them in the box over there. Yes. Well, Dorothy, you're looking fine. How are you?
Nicely, thanks.
That's good. And how's your dad?
That's what I came over to talk to you about.
Wrong, I hope.
Well, I don't know.
Well, sit down and tell me.
Mr. Hardy, you've known my dad for a long time, haven't you?
Well, ever since you were a little girl.
And if he were in any financial difficulties, he'd tell you about it, wouldn't he?
Well, I'm sure he would. But your dad is in no financial trouble.
And can you give me any reason why he might sell the rubber plantation?
I think I can. You know the government restrictions on rubber.
Of course, we're only allowed to ship less than half of what we produce.
Exactly. And that is a very profitable business.
But you don't think they'd have anything to
Why,
do?
of course not. But in spite of all the precautions the government has taken, every rubber planter in Semang is in immediate
Danger?
Why, Dorothy, I don't want to alarm you. But American gangster methods are being used here. And what these gangsters want, they take. And your father owns a very valuable rubber plantation.
Do you mean to say that these gangsters are forcing him to sell?
Trying to force it.
But, Mr. Hardy, how can...
Now, Dorothy, don't you worry. I've never known anybody yet who would force your dad to do anything he didn't want to do. Now, you run along. I've got a shipment of wild animals to get off tonight. And on my way home, I'll stop and see your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Hardy.
Thanks. The car.
How's the loading coming on, Mr. Murphy?
All right, Miss Elliott. Dorothy, what do you say to our taking a little trip down the river?
All right.
Oh, I wouldn't go if I were you. Why not? Well, the boat's dirty, and besides, there's native crew on board.
Well,
thought you were supposed to be running a plantation. No, you can't do that all the time.
We were thinking of taking a trip down the river, but Mr. Murphy objected.
Yeah? Why not, Murphy?
Well, it's no place for a girl like Miss Elliott.
Oh, nonsense. She'll be all right. Oh, Charlie, the cat's will take good care of you. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Yeah. You better hurry up and get that load aboard.
Okay.
Hello, Captain Charlie.
We're going along with you.
All right, come along.
Thank you.
I'll buy this thing. Take mine.
Larry. Williams, the game's over. Better get going. Murphy's orders.
Murphy's orders, huh? All that guy does is give orders.
If you miss picking up that boat, it won't be Murphy you'll answer to.
All right, boys.
Mighty fine, but I wish we thought about little food.
I've already looked into that situation, and I've discovered today's special. Beans. Dorothy, you stay here.
What's the matter, Tom? What's happened?
River pirates, Dorothy. They're killing the natives.
They'll find us, son. They'll kill us, too.
You've got to get off this boat. It's quite a jump. Are you game?
Yes, I'm game. No.
Come on, get out! Hey, what's the matter? Hey, get to my boat. What's the matter here? Hey, what's the matter?
Hey, you come on out of here. We're taking this all over.
Here we go.
A couple of natives swimming ashore.
Wait a minute, Williams. They're white. And one of them's a girl.
Well, whoever it is, they're going to make it.
They'll tip off the fleet.
Well, we can't take any chances. We'll drop this rubber off at the cave and set this tub adrift.
Okay. Well, we made the bank, but I don't know where we are.
I do. If we go straight ahead through the jungle, we can pick up a shortcut that'll lead us right to my plantation.
Down. Down. Come on, boy.
Did you by any chance hear that?
Sure, me hear them.
And what are you supposed to do?
Oh, because you tell me what this is.
Answer that door!
What it is. Answer the door. I think you crazy.
Tell Mr. Elliot, Mr. Nolan to see him.
Mr. Nolan, I wonder what he wants. I won't see him. Wait. Send him in. Quiet, like this. Quiet.
Not very friendly, is he, Mr. Elliot?
What's on your mind this time, Nolan?
Oh, I was just passing by. I thought I'd drop in. See if you changed about selling this plantation.
Why don't you be a client here and let me talk to him? I'd like to see the man who is willing to pay 3 times as much as the place is worth.
That would be highly impractical.
I think I have a pretty fair idea why your client is so anxious to get this plantation.
This place is not for sale.
In other words, you prefer to continue here until you go completely broke?
Well, after all, that's my business, isn't it? It's no deal.
You're making a mistake, Mr. Elliot. If you should change your mind, I'll be running into you. If you don't, why, I'll probably be running into you anyway. Oh, by the way, I want to congratulate you on that new Inspector Peters. He's a clever man, Mr. Elliot. Too clever to stay on that job. Good night.
Come on, lower away. Lower away. Hello, Peters. How's everything on the Elliot plantation?
Fine, thank you, Mr. Arnold.
Well,
Drop that cage down here. Come on, take it away. Come on. safe now.
Well, thanks to you, Mr. Hardy, but that was a narrow escape.
You're pretty lucky, Peters.
You can have your animals. I'll take rubber for mine.
Holly, as soon as you get those tigers loaded, get these boats right over there and get them loaded on board ship. Campbell, you stay here. Don't let anybody get near those cats. Okay. Wyatt Peters. Elliott's new inspector. Poor devil. He never had a chance. It's going to be a blow to Elliott. I'll go and phone him.
That's frightful, Frank. Thanks, old man.
What's wrong, Mr. Elliott?
Peters was killed. Shot down as he came off the Seagull tonight.
Well, I don't understand. What was he doing down there?
Checking up on stolen rubber. And he found some of our lot 41 aboard.
41?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Elliott, what are you going to do about it?
Tell Marshal I want to see him right away.
Yes, sir.
Looking fellow right there. Come on, get going, Pete.
Murphy says to take the rubber to the ship.
All right by me, Tiger.
Oh, the cat. Oh. Come on, old man. I'll give you a lift. Come on, take it easy for a while. You better get that arm dressed as soon as possible.
Trouble, Mr. Marshal.
You know this fellow?
No, never saw him before.
He evidently got into a little argument with that cat and was lucky enough to kill it.
Take a look at that load of rubber.
This is part of our lot 41. Peters found some on the boat tonight when he was murdered.
Murdered?
Yeah. Mr. Elliott wants to see you right away. I'll take care of this fellow.
So I'll take care of him. You bring in that rubber. Come on.
Think he'll talk?
Don't you worry about Larry. You just keep under cover.
But what about the rubber?
Nothing doing. It's got to go back to the storehouse.
For the last time, are you going to answer me?
I ain't talking. I know a way to get it out of him, Mr. Elliott.
Never mind that, Marshal. The police will take care of him. What is it, Murphy?
I brought that stolen rubber in, Mr. Elliott. I found the storehouse has been broken into.
Are you going to talk, or shall I call the police?
You can't scare me, mister.
Take him out, Murphy. Fix up that arm.
Come on.
Dầu chị bé đâu có trả出嚟，你睇你個樣啊，梗係同佢話咯。你就係咁多血，你實係整咩啊？咁樣啊，都唔會啊。
Get the medicine kit.
All right.
Sit down.
Then you'll be over shortly. Thanks very much.
All right, I got medicine kit.
Well, open it up.
All right. Không biết tính hữu sai cái ngắm đó. Chứ cũng bắt chịu lắm, tính hữu sai người ta. Hay nên đi tù được ngắm thay nó đi hãy cũng dùng lắm. Nhất tình hơn đi. I know that pretty good.
If you slap it on, I'll make you drink it.
Oh!
Quick, make a lot of noise. Make those guys in there think we're fighting. Break those.
Something's wrong.
Stop, quick. Here, get out of here.
Murphy, what happened? Yes, tell us.
Chang.
Will you stop that confounded jabbering and tell us what happened?
Big fight. Men hit me.
I remember. He hit Chang, and I jumped him.
Which way did he go?
I don't know.
Feel better?
I'm all right.
Oh, me sick.
Here. Any sign of him?
No.
Marshal, get in touch with the Southern Cross. Tell my daughter not to wait for me. I won't be able to attend that meeting.
Mr. Elliott, that meeting with the rubber planters is very important.
There's something more important on my mind, Marshal. Do you realize what might have happened to my daughter on that rubber boat today? I'm picking up some papers at the townhouse and going straight to the governor.
Where's Mr. Roger?
He's upstairs in his room, sir.
Well, did you see Elliott?
Yes, I saw him.
And?
He refused to sell at any price.
Well, it looks as though we might have to do a little persuading. Shall we dance, darling?
They do make a handsome couple, don't they?
Well, of course. Why shouldn't they? After all, Tom is the banning, isn't he?
Oh. Just why he likes to marry better than Calcutta.
Well, for one good reason.
You really think Tom and Dorothy are serious about their little romance?
Well, I don't know. I've often wondered when
Good evening, everybody. See you. Mr. Benning, Greenway. I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting.
That's quite all right. Better late than not at all.
Thank you. Has Elliott arrived yet?
No, he hasn't.
I suppose you heard what happened to one of his men this evening?
Yes, we were just discussing it.
Robert, this really is serious. Our lives are in danger until these crimes are cleared up.
You're right, Miss Shields. I have repeatedly demanded protection from the authorities.
Now, wait a minute, Varnoff. The authorities claim that this is the work of river pirates.
River pirates. Stop.
Oh, why, Jose.
Dorothy.
Oh, don't mention Peter's death in front of Dorothy. It will spoil evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Oh, Dorothy, by the way, your father just telephoned that he couldn't get here. He has an important engagement.
Mr. Elliott probably was called in on the Peters murder. Messy business.
Murdered?
Yes, shot down.
Now I know why Daddy didn't meet me. I must go home, Mr. Bannon. Thanks for a pleasant evening. Good night.
Good night.
Take good care of her, Tom.
I will, Uncle Bob.
Good night.
What's the matter? Haven't they answered yet?
No, sir. They're trying to get a governor's secretary. Hello? Just a moment, please. Governor's secretary, sir.
Tell my chauffeur to have the car ready. Hello?
Very good, Mr. Elliott.
Thanks. I'll leave at once. What brings you home so early?
I just heard about Peter. It's terrible.
Yes, it is.
Who could have done such a cowardly thing?
I don't know. I'm seeing the governor about it now.
Please don't go, Daddy. Wait until tomorrow.
I can't put it off any longer, dear. It's important that I see him at once. The governor's residence. Yes, sir.
Follow that car, Smithy.
I'll tell His Excellency that you're here, Mr. Elliott.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello? Where's Miss Elliott? Oh, you call the police.
Mr. Elliott is here, Your Excellency.
I'll see him in a moment.
I'm still trying to get police station.
I was waiting up for Dad, and I happened to look up. There were two of them. Handkerchief over their faces.
I'm convinced that there's something more than ordinary river pirates behind this business.
Then you believe that the murder of Peters links up with the rest of their crimes?
Absolutely.
Who do you believe is behind all this?
You'll be astounded. One you'd never suspect.
Do you know his name?
I do. His name is...
Why is Nolan so anxious to get the Elliott plantation? Who is behind the killing of Peters? Whose name was Elliott going to reveal? gang of rubber thieves has threatened Elliot for refusing to sell his plantation. Climaxing this threat, Elliot's shipping inspector, Peters, is trapped in the hold of a ship by a leopard. Later, Peters is mysteriously murdered. Seeking the cause of her father's strange fears, Dorothy Elliot calls on his intimate friend, Frank Hardy, for advice. That night, Marshall, Elliot's superintendent, captures one of the thieves with a load of stolen rubber. As Elliot is about to reveal to the governor who he thinks is the leader of the rubber racketeers, he too is killed. The following day,
Looks as if we'll be here several days, Ollie. You look after the animals. I'll send Campbell around to relieve you.
Yes, sir. Hi, Mr. Harding.
Hello, Captain.
Say, I wonder how long the police are going to keep me tied up here.
Well, I don't know. I hope not too long. I want to keep my animals in those small cages.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, sir.
Well, Captain, suppose you'll be able to sail in there, so?
That's fine.
Well, then I won't have to unload my cargo.
Say, Hardy, have you any idea where the shots came from that killed Peters?
Well, probably from that building over there.
Well, that checks with Gray's statement.
What about that man Butler who made the shipment of stolen rubber on the Seagull?
Well, we haven't been able to locate him yet.
There's no more sleepy time.
Come in.
Yes, sir.
You have a very beautiful voice, my Ethiopian friend.
Oh, yes, sir. I don't do that for a living, though. I just does that for my pleasure. You see, I'm a cook. Oh, yes, sir. No food, and I'm a good cook. Yeah, I can take a nice, fresh spring chicken and fry it nice and brown. And then I smother it in a pan with fresh giblets all around. Yes, sir, I'm a good cook. And I know this.
By any possible chance, my Senegambian friend, do you dally with a ham?
Oh, a ham? Oh, yes, sir. Now, a ham.
Professor.
Oh,
the law.
Wait a minute, Singapore. Wait a minute. I'm just about to land the job as a cook, Professor.
Wait. Professor, I think they're after Butler.
Not here. They're across the street now. Sing, sing, ham, sing.
Ham, ham, and more.
Very good. Very good. Come back this evening and we'll continue the choir rehearsal. My ebony-hued brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, Professor. It's so loud, Singapore. Yes, sir. No more sleepy time. No more 69. No more open in the sun.
And now this Elliot killing. Why, of all the stupid, scatterbrained hoodlums in the world, that gang of yours is the worst. Every time they get into a little difficulty, those hair-trigger gunmen of yours try to shoot their way out of it.
But, Mr. Benning, Elliot was going to spill the works.
Of course he was. And you knew it. Why didn't you tell me? Well, I thought that you thought. Well, understand this. I'm doing the thinking, and I'm giving the orders, Mr. Roger, and you're here to carry them out. Understand that?
Yes, sir. I suppose now you want to drop the idea of buying that Elliot plantation.
There you go, supposing again. But you're wrong. We need the Elliot plantation. I see. You get me into trouble yet trying to use your brain. And let me remind you of this. For the last time, you're carrying out my orders. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Oh, where's Butler?
I have an appointment with him in the inner office.
Well, get him out of town. The police are looking for him.
All right.
All right. Yes, I'll try to do that. All right, sir, I'll take care of it. Sir Roger, our San Francisco agent wants to know if you'll locate 30 days credit on 4,000 pounds of rubber to his weight.
Absolutely not. Cash on the line.
Mr. Roger, we need quota coupons for that shipment on the 9th.
I'll attend to that. Hello.
Hello, Roger.
Hello, Butler. Say, Butler, I'm afraid you'll have to leave Simang. Police are hot.
Where am I going?
Any place you suggest?
How about Melbourne? I have a cousin in Australia.
Fine. Anderson?
Yes, sir.
Arrange that Butler gets all the money necessary. He's leaving town.
Yes, sir.
Did you tell Roger what the professor said about Hardy?
I didn't have to. He knew all about it before he even got to his office. Beats me how that guy knows things.
You know, I don't think Dorothy Elliott will sell the plantation as long as Hardy's alive.
Yeah, so what?
I don't like to talk here. We leave here now, we can get out to Hardy's compound, say around 10 o'clock.
Yeah?
I'll tell you what I've got on my mind on the way out there. You're going to need your head.
You better get some sleep, Campbell.
It's only 9. Besides, I've got to give that medicine to the sick leopard again at 11.
Well, you've had a tough day.
I'd hate to see you lose that cat, Mr. Hardy. It's one of the finest specimens we've caught so far.
Well, I'll take care of the cat. You go along.
Good night, Mr. Hardy.
Good night.
Better have a look in Hardy's window and see if he's still awake.
You wait here till I get back.
Well, how about it?
He's sleeping like a log.
That doesn't help our situation any. How are we going to get a cat out of here?
I don't know.
Hey, look. Isn't Mr. Hardy accommodating? All our troubles are over. From Frank Hardy to New York. From Murphy to Hardy. There's one thing about a tiger.
What's that, Murphy?
When they start something, they usually make a good job of it.
Say, who thought of this gag anyway?
Oh, I know. My hat's off to you. Come on, let's get going.
What's all the racket, Mr. Hardy?
There's a tiger in my room. Give me your gun, Campbell.
I heard, sir?
No. All right. Get some poles.
Yes, sir. There's a cage backed up against your window.
Whoever put that cage there, let the cat right into my room. Here, Ollie, you go around the outside. And as soon as we drive the cat into the cage, you drop the door.
Yes, sir.
Watch it, Campbell. We'll drive him right back into the cage.
All right, Ollie.
Well, what in the name of all things is that horrible sound?
That's Chang enjoying his musical hour.
Oh, musical hour, eh? Well, if that's music, then A Tiger in Distress is grand opera.
Personally, I think it highly commendable that Dorothy carry on with the plantation as she's doing.
There's no denying that fact. But how will the experiments work out? That's what I'm wondering about.
If that's all that's troubling you, she's doing a great job of it.
Well, what do you mean?
She's even shipping a boatload of rubber today.
Dorothy, is this true?
Yes. Now can you understand why I'm not interested in selling the plantation?
Yes. I think I can.
All right, forget it. Get these orders straight. Get that rubber out of the cave and get it aboard a Molly-O tonight. You understand? Tonight.
Okay. What about Murphy?
I'll see that Murphy gets his orders.
Paul, Dad's got to go into the jungle. You take Lightning and go on home.
Please, Dad. Let me go with you. You'd make it faster riding.
No, not tonight, son. You go on, and I'll be there almost as soon as you are.
Home, Lightning. Home. So long, son. Go straight home now.
Come on, Lightning. Come on home.
Truck, Tiger.
Hasn't shown up yet.
Here, let me have that. Get out and locate it. We've got to get this rubber out of here tonight.
That's nice work you're doing, Murphy.
What are you doing here?
I don't have to ask you that question.
Lightning! Come back here, Lightning! Stay here and watch Daddy, Lightning. I'll be back. Help! Help! Help!
Did you hear that, Banning?
Yes, it sounds like a child.
Why, George, it is a child.
Well, hello there, son. What's the matter? Are you lost?
Dad's been hurt.
Why, it's Marshall's boy.
Where is he?
Back there.
Well, now, come along. Don't worry. Come on.
Let go. Let go.
He's in a serious condition. We've got to get him to a doctor.
We'll take him to the Shields plantation. It's not far away.
Who is this mysterious drifter, Singapore Joe? Will Hardy discover who tried to kill him? What will Robert Banning do with Marshall? Frank Hardy joins hands with the police in an effort to discover the murderer of his friend, Elliot. Robert Banning, a respected citizen of Semang, reveals himself as the head of the rubber racketeers who killed Elliot. Fearing Hardy's efforts to avenge the murder of his friend, Banning's henchmen attempt to do away with him. Marshall later discovers Murphy, the overseer of the Elliot plantation, in the cave of the rubber thieves. After a fierce fight, Marshall is seriously wounded. Later, he is found by Banning and taken to the Shields plantation.
Why, Murphy.
He's drunk.
No, he's hurt.
Murphy. Murphy. What's happened? Murphy.
There was a fight.
Steady, steady.
Load stolen rubber.
What else?
back in the jungle. Marshal.
Marshal, what do you have to do with it? Come on, Tom. Let's take him to his quarters.
Mr. Elliot. Just a minute till I find the light switch.
Oh, here you are, Tom. Over here. There you are, Murphy. Take it easy. Now, Murphy. What happened to the boy?
Miss Elliot.
What is it, Chang?
Oh, too bad, too bad. Mr. Marshall, he plenty hurt. Talk crazy. All the time say, Mr. Hardy, Mr. Hardy. That's all, Mr. Hardy.
Where is he?
Mr. Steele's house.
Hadn't we better get over there, Mr. Hardy?
Yes, I think we better.
But what about Mr. Murphy?
Oh, Murphy will be all right. You telephone the doctor, Chang.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Tom. Let's go.
Oh, too bad. You see? Making you some hot water. Fix you up plenty soon, huh?
Yeah, that's fine. Give me some brandy.
Randy, you got snake bite?
Go on, get out.
All right. We go. We go.
Samang, 1-3. Hello, Roger. This is Murphy. Look, we're on the spot. Marshall followed me down the cave.
All right. Take it easy.
Yeah, but I tell you, he'll expose the whole thing. Someone's coming.
How about a doctor?
One was called about 8 o'clock.
Well, it's 8:50 now.
Then he should be here any minute.
Have the police been notified?
Yes, Mr. Stevens called them.
I'm Dr. Coleman.
Yes, good evening, Doctor.
Good evening.
Will you step in here, please?
I think I'd like you to bring me a little hot water.
Yes, Doctor.
I'm afraid I'll have to ask you all to leave the room until I've finished.
Certainly. Is there anything I can do, Doctor?
I think not at present.
Well, I'll be here in case you want me.
Thank
you. Lightning. Good boy.
What's the trouble, Hardy?
Why, Banning found Marshall in the jungle. He's hurt. The doctor's with him now. And Murphy is in pretty bad shape. He's at the plantation.
That's orders. Get over to the Elliott plantation and hold Murphy. I want to question him.
Right.
My name is Sterrett.
How do you do? I'm Dr. Coleman.
Is Mr. Marshall's condition very serious?
He has a pretty bad bullet wound over the right frontal. But he'll be all right.
Oh. Is it possible to question him?
Not now. I've just given him a sedative.
Well, how long do you think it'll be, Doctor? You see, it's important.
I appreciate your position, gentlemen. I should say about 45 minutes.
Well, it's 10 minutes past 9 now.
Lightning north. He knew. Just wouldn't come home with me.
Jim. And Father.
There, Dorothy. Marshall's going to be all right. And in a few minutes, we'll find out what's behind all this.
Quiet, Lightning. Quiet.
Time's up. Is he conscious?
Yes. But as a matter of fact, I can't be sure that he hasn't got a skull fracture. I recommend that he be taken to the hospital for x-rays.
Doctor, would it be possible for us to speak to Marshall?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. But be as brief as possible and try not to excite him.
Very well.
Dr. Cole! He's gone! What happened? Where? What happened?
I don't know.
Well, there's no trace of him. Go and headquarters for some men. We'll search the plantation at once.
Yes, sir.
What do you make of this, Starrett?
I don't know. I'm wondering.
Look down among those trees there. The bushes below there. Way down, down below. That's right. No, nothing there. Come on over here. Be the landing up here. Now come right down those bushes here. Down this way. That's it, though. Hello, boy. Hello. Good lightning. Nice. Well, it's Marshall, all right. Dead. Poor Marshall. I'll take this to Starrett. Officer, you stay here with the body. Yes, sir. Come on, Tom.
I understand when you first arrived that you took Marshall's pulse. Can you tell me what time that was?
By his watch, it was exactly 10 minutes to 9.
That's correct. I checked with my watch.
Thank you. Doctor, you came out of that room at 9:50. You said Marshall was conscious. It was then that you suggested he be taken to the hospital. Still, a few minutes later, when we entered that room, he was gone.
Then it must have been during those few minutes that Marshall disappeared from the room.
Are you sure he was alive when you left that room at 9:50?
Certainly. Certainly. He was conscious.
Here's Marshall's watch. Still wound, but stopped by the action of water. How do you account for the fact that Marshall was found in the river at 9:35, and you said he was alive in that room at 9:50?
There must be some mistake.
You're right, Doctor. You made it. Gray. Is Dr. Coleman under arrest?
No. It's a mistake.
Thanks, Hardy. You were right. Coleman forgot about the watch and tripped him.
Mr. Hardy, I want to congratulate you. Figuring out the difference in time was very clever.
Thanks, Benny.
Well, they killed Marshall and they'll kill me.
Come on, pull yourself together, Murphy.
All right, let's have it.
Well, I was down in the jungle, and I saw this truck loaded with stolen rubber.
How'd you know the rubber was stolen?
Well, I didn't, but it wasn't one of our trucks, and it was on Miss Elliott's property.
Go on.
Well, I ordered them to stop. When I went to investigate the truck, the two men jumped me. Then when I saw Marshall as he came running to help me.
I thought Marshall was with you.
No, I was alone. I don't know where Marshall came from. He hollered to me as he came to my assistance. I heard a shot fired, and then someone knocked me unconscious. When I came to, the truck and men had disappeared. There was no sign of Marshall anywhere.
All right, Murphy, take it easy. Send Chang over to take care of you.
I'll get the car ready.
Right. Well, another blind alley.
You got nowhere with Murphy.
Guess we'll go into town and see what Dr. Pullman has to say.
Can I take you home?
Yes, thanks, Tom. I left Paul at the compound, so I'll be there in case you want me.
All right. Good night, Hardy.
Good night.
Good night.
Lights are on. He's still awake.
Sleep.
It's getting late. I'd better get back to town.
I'll walk out the gate with you.
All right.
There go the lights.
If it hadn't been for that watch, Coleman's out of there a free man.
Yes, he would.
Put it there. Go easy so as we don't wake him up.
Hey, Tom.
Murphy's story sounds good.
Well, it sounds too good. I don't believe it.
Hey, you go around the back and open the chute door. Look out for the cats.
Mr. Hardy will stick to his animals now and stay away from rubber. Come on, let's read.
I don't know, Mr. Hardy. Murphy's fear of being murdered, just as Marshall was, indicates your suspicions are wrong.
Well, then why is he still alive? If Murphy's story is true, and if he's innocent, why haven't they murdered him? They didn't hesitate to put Marshall out of the way. No, I still think Murphy's one gang. Well, thanks for bringing me home, Tom.
You're welcome. I'll see you tomorrow.
Good night. Good night.
Mr. Hardy!
Paul! Stand still. Don't move. Mind me, Paul. Stand still. Never mind the fire. All right, Paul. Game?
Yes, sir.
Come on. Oh, get up on Mike. Oh. Stay here, Paul. Now, you're perfectly safe here. We'll just wait.
What does Dr. Coleman know about Marshall's death? Will Hardy succeed in trapping Murphy? What will Robert Banning's next move be?
You know, I think Murphy knows a great deal more about that murder than he's told so far.
Well, if our scheme works out, we'll have Murphy just where we want him. Oh, by the way, did you notify Starrett?
Yes, sir.
Now, we'd better be on our way. Oh, Campbell, put that leopard in the cage right away, will you?
Right away, sir.
Allie! Singy! Togo!
What you want? Take him out, put him back.
Yes, and put him there. It's a little game of hide and seek Mr. Hardy's playing. He's got me guessing, too. Come on, boys. Get that cage down and get that cat in there. Come on there, boys. My beauty.
Are you sure, Jackson, that Murphy said to take the rubber out of here now?
You heard what I said, didn't you?
I heard you all right.
Well?
What with the police burning up the place, trying to solve the Marshall murder?
Listen, that road along the river's plenty safe. Once we're off the plantation, there's nothing to it. Come on, you guys, make it snappy.
But Murphy was supposed to be here. I wonder where he is.
He'll be along all right.
Get that corner tied up there, that's right. Here, take this rope over. Get it all coiled up over there in a nice, neat coil. Now, get it all coiled up over there. Your side all right, Campbell?
Okay, sir.
That's fine.
That's it, Jackson.
All right, get going.
Of course, this may be just a wild goose chase, but on the other hand...
As a police officer, I've discovered that a wild goose chase often lands the geese.
Well, we'll be ready just the same.
Right. Charters and I'll get under cover, waiting for your signal.
Right. Come on, Tom. You hold that rope now. Hold it tight. This side is all right. Now get ready to raise your door, boys. Get ready.
All right, Don.
All right, up with it. Come on up with it. Come on, baby. Come on out of there. Come on out of there. Come on out of there. All right, pull your rope now. Let it down. Come on up with the rope. Come on up with those ropes. That's right. A little tighter. A little more yet. All right, now hold that. Hold it there. Hold it right there. All right, boys. Heist up now. Come on. Head up in the air. Heist her up. Heist up. Come on. Lucky. Lucky. Lucky the cat. Lucky. Come on, Lucky. Come on. Lucky. Up you go. Ah, ready. Now, come on. Take that tree over there. Over there. Take that one. All right, boys. Tie her off and keep her there.
Like our old man. That's the signal, all right. Wait, someone's coming this way.
A good act now, Campbell. Don't forget.
Leave it to me.
Tom, I think you better get in there in case he's up to anything, not to spoil it.
Just as you say.
Hello there.
Hello.
Well, I see you've made another catch.
Yes, I've had net up there for that fellow for several days.
I didn't know leopards came down this far.
Well, they don't as a rule. But then when game gets scarce further up country, they liable to go almost anywhere. Aren't you a little bit off your beaten track?
No, I sometimes use this trail. It's a shortcut to the river.
Oh, I see. Here, Ollie. Now, down a little bit lower. Well, I'll have to go over there and do this job for them. Excuse me, won't you? Lower away, boys. Come on down. Come on, let her go, let her go. Come on down with it.
Follow him?
Not yet. Wait till Hardy gets rid of those men.
Now, Ollie, you get Campbell. Have him help you put the cat right back in the box and take it to camp.
Yes, Ron.
right, boys. Come on, get down out of there.
What's the idea?
Quick, do as I say. Get your hands up. Both of you. I caught you red-handed this time.
Yeah, I'll take charge of them.
You're just in time.
Well, looks as if you finally caught the rubber thieves, Murphy.
Yes, sir, and I've been waiting for them a long time.
Dirty double-crosser.
Starrett here got a tip that rubber thieves might try to do something today.
Glad you boys are here. I might have had a little trouble taking them in alone. I'll check up on this rubber Elliot.
Well, I'll just go along with you and check out.
Who employs you boys? Make it a lot easier on yourself if you cooperate.
We ain't talking, mister.
No, that's too bad. Not going to stop us from finding out.
That's Miss Elliott's rubber, all right.
Well, Murphy, you'll have to come into Semang with us and swear out a warrant.
Sure, glad to do it.
Came from that direction, Charters.
You're lucky, old man. Another incident might have been serious.
I told you they'd try to get me. Same as they did Marshall and Mr. Elliott.
We'll get these prisoners in the town and you to a doctor.
Can you imagine Murphy? A dirty double-crosser?
Tiger and I were sure surprised ourselves.
And you say Tom Banning drove him to the CID office to prefer charges?
Yes. Hardy and Starrett brought Red and Pete in on the truck.
Roger, they've got Red and Pete in jail. And Murphy is in the Inspector McLeod's office now.
Jackson, you and Smithy wait for Mr. Murphy outside of Inspector McLeod's office.
See that you take good care of that wound, Murphy.
It's only a scratch, Inspector. It'll be okay.
Come on, Murphy. I'll take you back to the plantation.
Yes, that's right. You better take things easy for a few days. Thank you for your cooperation.
Goodbye, Inspector.
Goodbye, Tom.
If there's anything more we can do, just let us know.
Thank you, I will.
All right, Smithy.
All right, boys. Take it easy. What's the idea? Shut up and get out of that car. You start walking down the road and keep going. Give me that gun.
Hey, I don't get this, boys. What's it all about?
We want you, Murphy. You're going for a little ride.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Shove over and get behind that wheel. Trail me, Smithy.
Okay.
Somebody seems to be having a little trouble back there. What's the idea of the ride?
So you thought you could double-cross me and hijack that bunch of Elliot robber, eh?
Hijack it?
No use stalling, Murphy. Because I know all about your stopping Red and Pete and turning them over to the police.
Sure I did. You'd have done the same thing if it had been you. With Sterrett and that bunch watching every move I made, I had to pull a fast one to throw them off the trail.
Yes?
Yes. Ask Red and Pete. They understand. They knew what I was up against.
Well, that's different. But it certainly looked like you were trying to pull a fast one to Jackson and Tiger.
Oh, so that's who shot me, eh?
Go back to the plantation. Better take a few days' rest.
Tell those birds to go easy with their...
Say, did you swear out a warrant against Red and Pete?
Well, sure I did, Roger. It was the only way I could protect you and the...
All right, I'll take care of them.
Yes, Mr. Roche?
Have Allen bring a car around. I want him to take Murphy out to the Elliott plantation.
Yes, sir.
Tom, to be more careful. This is the second time, so
Well, we don't know they were going to hold up the boat.
you mustn't take such chances.
Tom, your uncle is right.
By the way, Dorothy, you asked me if I knew of a man to take charge of your plantation.
Yes.
You're not thinking of replacing Murphy, are you?
Oh, I couldn't do that. Not after he nearly lost his life protecting my property.
What Dorothy wants is someone to help Murphy now that he's more incapacitated.
Oh, well, in that case, I think I know of just the man.
Oh, thanks so much. I'll appreciate your help.
How are you, Bowling?
Fine, thanks, Mr. Williams.
Dorothy, does that man look familiar to you?
What man?
The one sitting alone at that table.
I don't think he does.
I'm sure he's one of the men who captured the riverboat.
But you told me that you and Dorothy were in the cabin at the time the pirates came aboard.
We were, but when I heard the fighting, I came out of the cabin, and I'm sure I saw that man.
Oh. Hello, Greenway.
Hello, Benning. How are you?
Fine.
And how are you, Miss Evans?
Fine, thank you.
Hello, Tom.
Won't you join us?
I'm glad to.
Excuse me a moment, Dorothy.
By the way, Greenway, are you having any more trouble with those native boys? Huh?
No, that's all over.
Hello, Tom.
Hello there, Mr. Hardy.
You look worried.
See the man seated at that table over there?
You mean that man sitting there alone?
That's right.
What about him?
He's one of the men who stole Dorothy's rubber cargo.
Is that so?
You call the police, and I'll keep my eye on him.
You better be sure you're right, Tom.
I'm positive I'm right.
Right in your Bear Williams, Bob.
Just a minute.
What's the matter with you?
I want to talk to you.
Now tell me, you got the wrong guy.
Gentlemen, please be seated.
What's the matter, William?
That guy there's looking for trouble.
Well, there must be some mistake.
There's no mistake. He's one of the men who helped hold up the riverboat.
Will Red and Pete tell the police all they know? Does Inspector McLeod really believe Murphy's story? Will Tom Banning's statement finally expose his uncle? fact, Frank Hardy and Tom Banning set a trap to capture Murphy, the crooked overseer of... Murphy discovered their ruse, and in order to save himself, pretended to be on the side of the police. The rubber thieves, believing Murphy had double-crossed them, decided to take him for a one-way ride. But Murphy unsatisfactorily explained his gangster boss. Later, Tom Banning recognized one of the rubber thieves in the Southern Cross and exposed him to his uncle, who is secretly the leader of the gang.
Well, there must be some mistake.
There's no mistake. He's one of the men who helped hold up the riverboat.
That's a good one on you, Tom. This man works for me.
Well, gentlemen, suppose we drop the whole matter.
Okay with me. Come along, William.
I thought I asked you to watch your step and be more careful, young man.
I'm sorry, Uncle.
You've caused us no end of embarrassment, even Dorothy. I'll talk to you later about it. Well, how are you, Hardy? Won't you join us?
I'd like to, thanks, but I think I'd better have a word or two with Tom.
Well, that might not be a bad idea. Go ahead and I'll see you later. There's nothing to be worried about, Dorothy.
Is Tom hurt?
No. He'll be back in just a minute. Sit down, won't you?
You see, Mr. Hardy, I couldn't possibly be mistaken.
Well, frankly, Tom, I don't think you were mistaken. But you saw what happened in there. It's your word against a well-prepared alibi.
What's there to do?
Well, you go back inside and join Dorothy and your uncle. I'll see the staff gets the right information.
Thanks, old man.
All right.
Take a tip from me. You're fooling around with dynamite. If anything is to be done about this, I'll take care of it. In the meantime, a little manual labor will toughen up those little lily white hands of yours.
Oh, but listen to reason, Roger. Me go to work?
I'm sorry, Williams, but when Greenway hired you, he established your alibi. You report to him in the morning.
Yeah, but... All right, get out.
What's the hurry?
Get out? Yeah.
And don't forget about the Greenway job.
Yeah, but I...
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Banning, but I had to get Williams out of here.
Roger, you seem to forget that you're merely my mouthpiece. Not to invent ways and means of running my business.
I don't understand. I always try to carry out instructions. Unfortunately, your nephew...
My nephew has nothing to do with this. I told you to keep those stupid rats of yours out of the Southern Cross. And I meant it.
But, Mr. Banning, they're part of your organization.
Yes, and they're being well paid to carry out orders.
I know. It's true. Only I thought that...
I'm doing the thinking, Roger.
Yes.
You know, Roger, you're a very likable young fellow. And I should hate to see anything serious happen to you.
You mean...
Well, you know what usually happens to anyone who's forced to resign an important post with me, don't you?
Yes, I do, sir.
Good. When you have many useful years ahead of you, providing you behave yourself. Well, I think I'd better get back to my guests. Oh, by the way, tell those men that are being held by the police they'll have to take the rap. They'll be well compensated for it if they carry out orders.
What is it, Starrett? Well, they still refuse to talk. I'm afraid you're going to have a tough time with them, Inspector.
You try your hand with them, Dre.
Yes, sir.
What is the man's name who hired you to haul that rubber?
I told you 100 times I don't know.
This guy hired me and Red to do a hauling job for him. He said he'd furnish a truck and pay the right kind of money.
What would you say if I told you that I could arrange for you to appear as a witness for the prosecution and go scot-free?
You mean...
I mean, if you told the truth about this crime, you'd never have to serve another day in jail. What do you say to that?
I'd say that you're nuts. That's what I'd say.
Yeah? Well, your friend in the other room may have a different idea altogether. Keep him here till I get back.
Even if you keep on questioning until they go skiing on the Sahara, you'll get no more out of me.
There's no use drilling him anymore, Thompson. His friend just made a complete confession.
What?
Your friend Pete just told us all we wanted to know.
How do you like that, Red?
party, we've investigated Williams and haven't a thing on him.
But Tom is positive that he's one of the men who boarded the rubber boat.
That's right, Inspector.
That's a lead. Come in.
Find out anything, Gray?
No, sir. The prisoners refused to talk.
Lock them up.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to have detained you, Murphy.
It's okay, Inspector.
We better get going, Tom.
I think so.
Goodbye, Inspector.
Goodbye.
See you later, Sarah.
Yeah, Hardy, so long.
Well, I suppose I'll have to issue a warrant for Williams' arrest.
Inspector, I don't think we should move that fast.
Why not?
Because it's going to be hard to convince a jury that Williams is the man young Banning thinks he is.
But young Banning positively recognized Williams.
Yes. But Greenway killed that recognition when he informed young Banning that Williams was an employee on his plantation.
You don't mean to insinuate that Greenway is connected with those crooks?
Certainly not. But I do think Greenway should be informed as to what sort of a man we think Williams to be.
I'll talk with Greenway.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, this looks like a police station.
You're in the wrong room, copper.
Well, if it isn't Inspector McLeod.
Glad to see you, John. Sarah, this is John Charles from our Calcutta office.
Glad to know it.
John, you're just what the doctor ordered.
Nothing doing. I'm on a vacation.
Yes, you think you are. Sit down.
I knew this had happened.
I'm telling you, this gang carries plenty of dynamite.
I like dynamite. Where do you think I can find this chap, Williams?
He's supposed to be working at the Greenway plantation. But if I were you, I'd look for him around the Semang Palace.
Now that you've heard the whole story, what's your idea?
Well, I think Sterrett has the right suggestion. From now on, my hangout is the Semang Palace. And if you want to get in touch with me, the name's Quinn. All right?
Now, that'll get it. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels upon after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing along, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Carry me
Good evening, Mr. Williams. How are you, Marty? Have you seen anything of Murphy tonight? Were you expecting to meet Mr. Murphy here? Yeah. Maybe he'll be in later. You better stick around. I think I will. Give me a scotch and soda.
Excuse me, buddy. I was sitting up there, and when you paid for your drink, why, this fell out of your pocket.
Thanks. Have a drink.
Sure.
Just a minute. That money happened to belong to me.
I saw it fall out of this gentleman's pocket.
That's what you think.
But I saw my pal drop it himself.
Why don't you two mind your own business? Who you talking to? I'm talking to you.
Are you...
Pretty good fight you put up. You boys ought to go in the business.
Thanks for the hand, friend.
Same to you and many others.
Now, Murphy, this is Mr.
Quinn's the name. I know you. Glad to know you.
That's the best I ever heard, Yank.
How'd you know I was a Yank?
I can spot that lingo anywhere.
What part of the state you from, Quinn? Skip it. That is all that, eh? Maybe. What are you doing for a living these days? Looking for a job. Well, I know the spot you might fit in. That is, if you ain't too particular. I'll try anything. The dough's right. What if you mean that? Just try me and find out.
You recognize that as your father's signature, of course.
It seems to be. But I can't understand why Father would give an option on this plantation when he was so set in keeping it at all costs.
Well, he evidently changed his mind when he signed that option.
Evidently.
I'll leave this check with you for the second payment. My people will be ready to take possession and pay the balance in 90 days. Is there anything else that you'd like to know?
Nothing, thanks. I just want a little time to think this over.
Naturally, of course. Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, fellas, steady now. That's right, hold on, now. Hold on, there we go. Now, there we go. Oi. Yeah, that's a big one, all right. Now we'll fix him now. There you are. You know, Tom, the reason I do this is because I insist on every animal that I send to the States being in perfect condition.
Yes, of course.
I've got to fix their teeth right if they're wrong before they ever leave here. All right, boy, let the rope go now. That's fine.
Another one of the natives has been attacked by a tiger.
Another one?
Yes.
Oh, this is terrible. See how badly he's hurt me. See what you can do. I'll telephone Mr. Hardy.
All right.
Yes, Ollie?
Juan, Mr. Campbell got phone call from Miss Elliott. There is tiger prowling around plantation. Wants to know if you come catch him.
Tiger on the Elliott plantation. Of course I will. Want to give us a hand, Tom?
I'd love it.
Who's on? How much? Come on.
What are you doing out here in this broiling sun?
Any chance of us being overheard?
Not a chance.
I've got those Riker coupons.
Nice work.
Now, you get these coupons off to Patterson so that he can make a shipment. And after he does, I'll call around and get my cut.
Okay, I'll put them in my safe overnight.
The chief should hear that we're trying to pull a little private deal of our own.
You're telling me?
See you later.
Make it fast out of the trigger now. Hold it tight. Now come around and get this brush up. Put it in there, Ollie. A little more this side, a little more this side. That's all right. Now get it from up here. Get the brush over the back there, boys.
That tiger must be pretty smart to have evaded you this long.
They often are, but we'll get him eventually.
Won't it be an all-night wait?
Probably will be. Something's attracted that tiger away from our bait. Look out! There's a tiger there! What's happened to him, Tom?
How bad is he hurt?
What are you doing here, Murphy?
Well, I heard a tiger and thought I might get a shot at it. Looks more bruised than anything else.
Well, he's lucky if that's all that's the matter with him.
Take him up to my quarters, and I'd be glad to take care of him.
All right, we'll help you.
Smart fellow. Just who are you?
Quinn's the name.
Quinn, eh? Well, Mr. Quinn, you and I are going to have a little hand to showdown. What happens to you after that depends entirely upon yourself.
Will Hardy and Tom prove Williams guilty? Is Nolan's option to buy the plantation legal? Will Murphy discover who Quinn really is?